Samoa last year consumed almost 40 million liters of diesel fuel alone for the whole year. What we will plan to produce in the first year will be around 3 to 3.5 million liters, which represents less than 8% of our total consumption of diesel. So as you can see, it's a very small volume, but as the copra production and productivity increases with replanting and more copra becoming available, that volume and percentage ratio should go up. From the studies that we have undertaken, Samoa is capable of producing up to 20,000 tons of copra a year if it maximizes the land use area and the amount of coconut trees that can be replanted. With 20,000 tons of copra, we can produce about 15 million liters of fuel, and which would be around 35% of the total fuel consumed. Now obviously, if we can produce that much, then we don't need to import that volume, and therefore your savings in foreign exchange alone would be quite significant. And instead of that money going out to pay for fuel, for the import of fuel, that money will be going directly to the farmers at the village level. So the benefits to the economy are quite significant, fairly obvious to see. But a lot, as I said, depends on how much copra we can produce.
Now, you're obviously, are you working towards a time frame when you can achieve the goal that you're looking at, 35% of fuel locally produced?
This is a long-term project for us, and in the short term, we are looking at working with the Ministry of Agriculture to rejuvenate the coconut industry. And to achieve the 20,000 tons, we estimate that will take at least 10 years to get to that point, maybe even longer. It depends on several factors which all have to...
Can you speed up the process?
Well, there is a hybrid variety of coconut which the Ministry of Agriculture has been working on, and that particular variety apparently can produce nuts within 3 years. So therefore, if there is sufficient planting material for that type of coconut, then we can probably see that period reaching that target of 20,000 being shortened.
Can you ever get to the stage where it would affect consumption? People's, the use of copra by people for consumption purposes, for food?
I don't think that will ever happen, because people will always use nuts first for their own consumption before they turn to selling the copra. And even in the old days, when we had thousands of tons being exported as copra, there was never any such problem in terms of demand for coconuts for local consumption, for domestic consumption. The other factor that people need to be aware of is that the coconut is not a staple food. It's not a basic food commodity. It enhances the food, and people in Samoa and other countries in the Pacific use coconut cream and products from the coconut to cook with. But it's not something that you eat as a basic food. So therefore, it's not a staple food as such, like taro or potatoes or whatever.
Salimaya o oilo uau, seifa amalu wailo uma fau fau, fa Amalu ai fo ilo tuina nau Malo utau wa nau Sa fai o e